to slowly break away from the Velcro wallets and try to get a leather wallet of some form. So when you're opening your wallet to get out your business card, you don't hear okay, that beautiful sound. Now, when I take in a business card, I take it in and I put it in my left-hand pocket. It doesn't matter to me how I put it in because I'm just dumping it in there like a trash can, okay? But I know my clean ones that I'm giving out are in my right-hand pocket. And then at the end of the night, I can go to my left-hand pocket like gold, take out all my business cards, see all these great people that I've met, maybe send some follow-up thank you notes and follow-up conversations, maybe send out some information, depending on what we talked about. So you want to create a system on how to get your business cards quickly and then how to take in a business card. And you want to have them in 2 separate spots so you don't accidentally give out somebody else's business card to someone that you wanted to give yours to. You want to make sure there's not a to-do list written on the back and there's nothing too much crossed out on the front. If for some reason your phone had changed or your email changed and you want to like gently cross it out with one line and then write the new underneath it, you could do that. But be very careful that it doesn't look like you're like scratching and scratching and scratching and making it really look dirty and obnoxious. Okay, and you're at the age that getting a business card is one of the next steps that you're going to do. I don't know if it's actually part of the program, but to get them is very easy. You can put them off on the computer, you can get them at Office Max, you can get them anywhere. You can order them online and they're really, really inexpensive. And for your age group, you want to make sure that it's a nice, basic, your name, a telephone number, and maybe your name and an email address. If you use a telephone number, make sure that the voicemail is professional. Okay? They don't want to hear, downtown funk when they're calling you or something like that. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, one of the things that we're going to do now is we're going to talk about table manners, and then we're going to go through and we're going to share a course together. Now, I want you just to take a second to process what's in front of you right there. Look what they gave you. I mean, it's just like absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. And if you really look at what you's in front of you, you're going to see this. Whose face do you see here? Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Isn't it great? For my friends in the back. Now, every time you sit down to eat, you actually set Mickey Mouse's face. You have your wonderful circle in front of you where your main entree is going to go. And I'm going to put this down here in front. Normally I would have a plate here in between the pieces of silverware, but the cold weather lifted my Velcro off, so it's no longer stickable. I'm going to put my plate here. And then I have my 2 circles. Now the one circle with the indent is going to go with the cup and the saucer. And that's going to be on your right-hand side. Is your drink on your right-hand side? Oh, good. And then the little cup plate that has no indent is called your bread and butter plate. But actually for everyday eating, this is like your catch-all space. If you happen to go to a fast food restaurant, you're going to have your fast food meal in front of you. Your drink will be on your right-hand side. On your left-hand side will be your french fries, your extra tacos, your baked potato, whatever else it is that you're eating as part of your meal. So we don't always have a bread and butter plate, but we have things that represent the bread and butter plate. So for your purposes as a diner, your drinks are always on your right-hand side. The word water, the word juice, the word drink all have 5 letters, as does the word right. So this is your clue that these things live on your right-hand side. You draw an imaginary line down the center of your plate, and everything else belongs on your left-hand side. The word fork has 4 letters, like the word left, so it's going to live on your left-hand side. Are your tables set correctly? Oh, I hope so. Did someone say no? Now, what's really interesting about silverware, some of you have metal bread and butter plates, and some of you have plastic. When it comes to dining, it does not matter what the material is made out of, because you're going to use the utensil exactly the same. And that's one of the things I want to stress with you. It doesn't matter if you're eating at a fast food restaurant or if you're eating down at the Ritz-Carlton. How you dine and how you use your utensils should be exactly the same. That's why we mixed it up a little bit. Okay? And I'm not saying that this isn't going to be stronger, but how you use it will be the same as your plastic one. Now what's really nice is that you actually have bread and butter knives. Isn't that nice? That tells you a couple things. That tells you that your hostess, your teacher here, really thought a lot about you. And he wanted this to be the best dining experience for you. So he gave you the extra pieces of silverware to make sure that you didn't have to use your dinner knife to spread butter on your roll. Wasn't that nice of him? That you have a knife. That you have a butter knife for the sole purpose of spreading butter. What's really exciting, and I sort of want you to just wrap your head around this, is that the utensils have a job to do. All utensils, that's why there's so many of them, because there's so many different types of foods to eat, that they all have a job for you to do as a diner. And if we as diners take it upon ourselves to actually use the utensils correctly, we will be enjoying our meals so much more. So the fact that the bread and butter plate, the knife is smaller, it's its job to only help you spread butter. That's its only job. So we want to make sure we use it for the job it's supposed to be used for. Now on your table, you're going to see a few other things. You're going to see some silverware in front of you, right? Above the napkin. That's another thing you're like, yes, I'm so excited. When you see that silverware above the napkin, that tells you you're going to get dessert. Your hostess has already thought about you, that you're going to get dessert. How lovely is that? When you see several forks, which you have, then you know you're going to get at least 3 courses that have to do with the forks. That is exciting. Several knives to correspond with the forks. That's exciting as well. So when you look at your place setting, it's really a roadmap to what you're going to get served for your meal. And if for some reason you don't think you're going to like anything, let's say you see, oh, there's a soup spoon. Oh, I'm really not into soup. I guess they're going to serve me soup. Oh, I see a seafood fork. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? But you see the bread and butter plate, and that tells you as a diner that you're always going to have bread and butter at the meal. And if anything else, there's nothing wrong with having just bread and butter. It's a lovely part of the meal. And that is the one plate that actually stays on the entire time and will never leave your place setting until dessert comes. Now, there are 2 things I want you to think about. You don't have one of these, but I wanted to show it to you. This is called a charger. And a charger tells you as a diner several things. It tells you, besides the number of pieces of silverware that you see, that you're going to have several courses throughout your meal. So when you see a charger, a lot of hotels and country clubs and Ritz-Carlton and places like that will use a charger. It tells you okay, this is not a one-plate meal that's going to happen here, which is very nice. Now you see something else in front of you that you probably don't even think about, and that's a tablecloth. Does everyone's table have a tablecloth on it? Yes. Good. That tells you that the person cares about you again as the host, and that this is what we call fine dining, which means no finger food. I know. So that tells you if for some reason you were to get French fries today, you would have to use a fork to eat the French fries with. So a tablecloth lets you know, it dictates to you the status of the table and what that is about. Now also on the table you may see, I don't actually see them on your table, which is actually fabulous if it's true. It's hard for me to see everything on there. But there's a thing called salt and pepper. And the one thing in business etiquette that you have to remember about salt and pepper is that first of all, they're best friends. They have to stay together. The second thing is that you want to try never to use them. You want to get your plate of food. You want to taste it with that great brain that you have and think, do I have a problem here? Is there a problem with the food that has been served to me? If there's a problem with the food that's been served to you, you're going to use salt and pepper to solve that problem. Otherwise, you don't know. And salt and pepper is one of those foods that really distinguish somebody at the dinner table from someone who doesn't know. And salt and pepper are one of those things in a job interview. If you sit down in a job interview over a meal and you get your plate of food and you season it before you taste it, you will not get the job. You can enjoy the rest of the meal, but most likely you will not get the job. And why is that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?